Good insert time of day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Cal, and we have reached the penultimate, I say penultimate when this is the second to last, video in the series of year-end lists. Today, we are going over all of my honorable mentions for 2025. And trust me, when I say that there was a lot of music that I listened to this year. If memory serves me correct, by the time my year-end list video comes out, I will have listened to 130 albums. And to prove my point, in the description of said video, this is a spoiler alert for you all, there will be a link to a Google Docs form that has a list of every album that I have listened to in 2025. And no, I'm not kidding. There will be one, and you will get to see all the stuff that I listened to this year, because there's a lot of expected ones, unexpected ones, and just downright weird. So, be warned. But other than that, I say we get right into it, and let's go over my long list of honorable mentions. Before we go on, there are some albums that I've already talked about on this list, so we will go over those before we continue on with the actual list. The albums I have already talked about on my list include Giants and Monsters by Helloween, Bone Collector by Gravedigger, Domination by Primal Fear, The Final Stand by The Storyteller, Inquisition by Burning Witches, In Mourning the Immortal, Borderland by Amorphis, and Year-End List Borders, Nailed to Obscurity's Generation of the Void, and Crimson Shadow's Whispers of War. With that taken care of, let's get on with the long list. Starting things off, we have The Halo Effect, March of the Unheard. So, as many of you know, I met Michael Stahn at Prog Power USA this year when I saw Cemetery Skyline make their US debut. And while I was there, I told him how much I enjoyed the new album by The Halo Effect. And I still stand by my opinion that this is one of the best melodic death metal albums of the modern day. Like, Conspire to Deceive, Detonate, Cruel Perception, This Curse of Silence, which leads right into the title track, March of the Unheard, A Death Between Us, The Burning Point. This album is full of catchy riffs and solos. Michael Stahn, of course, he sounds feral as ever. Jesper Stromblad and Nicholas Englund, whose name I've probably butchered, they killed on the guitars. Peter Ewers does a great job on bass, and Daniel Svensson on drums. He does a wonderful performance. If you are a melodic death metal fan who misses that classic sound by In Flames, because ironically, all these men in the band are former In Flames members, this is the album for you. Definitely recommend this if you liked classic In Flames albums like Clayman, Colony, Just a Race, heck, even the debut album Lunar Strain. This is right up your alley. This also fits in well with Dark Tranquility, Hypocrisy, At the Gates, and classic Swedish melodic death metal. Definitely give it a listen. It is wonderful through and through. Next up, and this is a debut album that thoroughly impressed me, we have Harvest for the Souls We Have Lost. Italy brings on its new blood in the gothic metal and doom metal sound with this band and their debut, and it is wonderful. It's dark, it's gloomy, it's atmospheric, the vocals are really well done. There's only 7 songs in here, and I'll list them all. Born Alone, Floating Leaves, In Shape of Beast, Remembrance, Hunter of Souls, Shining Moon, and The Path of Life. And the band behind it, the music, does absolutely incredible. And the vocals on here are just low, like crooning, like stuff you would hear on classic gothic metal albums. And despite this band being a gothic metal band, the Metal Archive says that they are death doom. And yeah, there is some death growls in here, but most of all, I would say they're more gothic doom than death doom. Either way, definitely check this album out. This is for fans of classic doom metal like Candlemass, Trouble, I almost said Torture. I would also say if you're more in the death doom camp, this is like Paradise Lost, My Dying Bride. I would maybe throw in some Anathema. I couldn't think of the band's name. This is a really good album. I definitely recommend you give this album a listen, and Italy rules. Next up, and I think you all knew this was coming because of how much this band impressed me at Prog Power USA this year. Sometime in February, Where Mountains Hide. This is a really good instrumental, progressive rock, progressive metal album. But I say rock because this is what this band is mostly doing, despite there being blast beats in the music. But this is really good, and like I mentioned in my Prog Power video, and you probably saw in the videos, this band is a three-piece. Tristan Allman on guitar, Morgan Johnson on bass, and Scott Barber on drums, and they do an absolutely incredible job on this one. Hiding Place, Planeteer, Phantom Sea, Outside In, and The Bad Fight are some of the standout tracks for me. They even have a guest appearance from Paul Wagner from Between the Buried and Me, and that's kind of ironic since Tristan tours with Between the Buried and Me in the absence of Dusty Waring, which I'm not going to get into that drama, but you probably already know what's going on. Other than that, this is a really well done, well constructed album. All three musicians definitely play to their very, very high skill sets, and I highly recommend you give this album a spin. It is a wonderful listen if you're a fan of classic prog rock bands like Yes, Genesis, Gentle Giant, Rush, Jethro Tull, which they had a new album out this year as well. Yeah, definitely give this album a listen. It's really good. Next up, and I'm going to surprise you all with this pick because it's a band you wouldn't expect me to like, but I do. Styx, Circling from Above. Yes, that is right. Styx on a heavy metal channel. I mean, I just had sometime in February, but you can understand where this is going from. So, Styx is my second favorite band of all time. You heard that correct. And this album is just classic Styx in their classic prog rock style. Build and Destroy, Michigan, It's Clear, Blue-Eyed Raven, She Knows, We Lost the Wheel Again. All the members of Styx playing to their very great strengths. Tommy Shaw and Lawrence Gowan still leading the way. This was produced by Willa Vankovich, who I'm pretty sure that was him who sang on We Lost the Wheel Again, because it was a different sounding vocal approach. Give this album a listen if you're a longtime Styx fan. I am running out of things to say because this video is not scripted, so you know how that goes. Yeah, it's really good. Highly recommend it. Round 4. Bloody Wood, New Delhi. I absolutely love this album, and I absolutely love the style of music this band goes for. Mixing nu metal with Indian music. It is a wonderful album to listen to, and I absolutely love what this band does with their style of music. Songs like Raise Your Voice, Heartbeat, Baby Metal is on here on the song Fearless, because they're everywhere and I love them for it. Destiny, and of course the title track New Delhi. I apologize, I'm saying the song titles in English because I can't speak Hindu. It is a really, really good album. I really like what Karan does on the guitar. Jayant and Raul interchanging vocals, and the whole band just plays together so well, and it just makes for a great album to listen to if you want to just get up and dance. This is, I mean, well, nu metal wants to make you dance anyway, but this wants to make you dance even more. This will start a rave if the band wanted to, which they probably will because they're going to be touring the US next year, which, yes! I highly recommend you give this album a listen. It is so good, and Bloody Wood rule. Next up, Shades of Prog Power once again, Ellefson Soto, Unbreakable. Now, I met Jeff Scott Soto at Prog Power and got a fist bump from him when I met Saigon Kick while I was there, and this album is Jeff and David Ellefson, formerly of Megadeth, now in Metal Church, actually. They did a solo collaboration, and they made a really good classic heavy metal album. It's Jeff, Andrea, how do I pronounce his name? Martin Gelly from Artemis, of course, David Ellefson on bass, and Paolo Carati, who is from Hollow Haze on drums. And this is a really good album. Title track Unbreakable, Shout, Poison Tears, Ghosts, Vengeance, The Day We Built Rome. There's even a cover of a Queen song, specifically Death on Two Legs. And this album is just classic heavy metal that you would hear from like Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, and Raven. It's really good. I highly recommend you check it out. I apologize if I'm saying here, because this video is unscripted and I don't know what to say. But what I will say is definitely give this album a listen because it's very good. Next up, another album that is vying for the year-end list because of how good it is. Ari with 3 Candles and Beginnings. Now, I cannot stress how amazing this band is because this is... I'm going to spoil this for you. Nightwish fans, you would love this band. So, this consists of keyboardist Tomas Halupian from Nightwish, pipe player... Sorry, I'm getting things mixed up. Pipe player Troy Donackley, and Tomas's wife, Johanna Korkila, who I've probably butchered her last name. And can I just say that she has an amazing voice. Like, she is a voice of the angels, essentially, because this whole album, this whole album is just so good. And I cannot stress that enough. Especially with some of these wonderful songs like The Invisible Gossamer Bridge, The Apparition Speaks, Libraries of Love, Blakely Ridge, Museum of Childhood, Shield Maiden, that's my favorite song on the whole album, and the 11-minute closing track, A Boy Traveling with His Mother. This album is just full of amazing music, and I should probably warn you, because subgenres are a new thing now. This is a progressive folk, you heard that right. This is a progressive folk album, and while the songs are long, it works in their favor, because you get to hear all the wonderful instrumentation behind them and Johanna's vocals. But yeah, this album is wonderful. If you like Nightwish but you want to hear like one of their side projects, then Ari is the right choice for you. Definitely listen to this band, and I might need to really listen to this album to see if it'll be on my year-end list because it is so good. Next up, and prepare for what could be the longest title of the video, Green Carnation, A Dark Poem, Part 1, The Shores of Melancholia. If you say that album title 10 times fast, it'll probably take you the entire duration to figure out how to say it right. But I digress. This is a really good progressive metal album, more kind of on the lines of dreary gothic and doom kind of styles. Standout tracks, there's only 6 on here, as Silence Took You, In Your Paradise, Me, My Enemy, The Slave That You Are, featuring Grudel from Enslaved, The Shores of Melancholia, and Too Close to the Flame. I listened to this on my way back from Cordial Railfest, and this album is just, oh my word, it's so beautiful, it's atmospheric, it just lifts you up, and I think that is mostly in part to, and I'm going to butcher his name, Kieto Nordus? I don't know how to say his name, but their lead singer's vocals really captivate the sound and the music very well. This also has Tort, I'm probably butchering his name too, from Blood Red Throne on guitars. And the way that all the musicians play off of each other in this album is really well done. I highly recommend you give this album a listen. If you're a longtime Green Carnation fan, I would also say this is probably for fans of, oh gosh, what other bands would they be good to compare to? You'll probably think of some stuff in the comments. What I can think of is saying that this album is very good. And now, I'm going to shock all of you with my next album. My next honorable mention is Between the Buried and Me, The Blue Nowhere. Yes, really, this album somehow didn't make my album of the year list. And I can already hear you guys typing in the comments section, how on earth is this possible? This should be on your list, and it's just not. I just connected with the albums on my year-end list a lot more, but I'm not saying this album is bad at all. Far from it. This is insane prog metal. Like, I thought I knew what I was going into when I listened to this album. And right from the opening track, Things We Tell Ourselves in the Dark, I was proven dead freaking wrong. This band just makes the most bonkers prog metal. They can go from progressive metalcore style to jazz fusion, then they can do reggaeton ska like Sublime. Yeah, this album is just full of crazy transitions, but the band is just so good. Like Tommy Giles killing it on vocals, Blake Richardson on drums, insane. Dan Briggs, I'm surprised he hasn't broken any fingers from playing bass that quick. And Paul Wagner, of course, guitar legend. I mentioned him already because sometime in February there's another connection there. Yeah, this album is crazy. Absent Thereafter, Door Number 3, Psychomantium, I think is how you say it, Slow Paranoia, the title track, Beautifully Human to close off the album. Yeah, this is a crazy album. I listened to this on my way down to Cordial Railfest again, and this, oh my word, I even now I can't understand what is going on with this album, because it is just bonkers to no end. Highly recommend this album. It is so good. Alright, now we get to the fun stuff. Stardust Souls. Hey look everybody, we have a new subgenre to get into. Symphonic prog metal. These guys are one of the biggest names out of Israel right now, and it is not hard to see why. They are just so good. Another album I listened to on the way to Cordial Railfest, I know, shocking. Long Forgotten Song, My Haven, Dazzling Darkness, End of the World, Searing Echoes, Touch of Life, Parts 1 through 3. Every song on this album is so good. And I think one of the biggest strengths this band has is Noah Gorman's vocals. She is absolutely incredible. Like, she is an amazing range. She can hit the high notes so well, she can growl so good, and there was a guest spot on this album, because on Touch of Life Parts 1 and 3, we get a guest appearance from Mr. Ross Jennings of Haken. And when I was listening to this, I thought to myself, hold on, who is that? And then I looked onto the tab list and was like, oh wait, it's Ross! That made this album even better, and definitely give this album a listen if you're a longtime fan of Stardust. I would also, because Ross is here, yes, I'm going to throw in Haken. This album is just so good, and I cannot wait to see this band make their US debut at Prog Power USA next year. Up next, Paradise Lost, Ascension. I know, another album that didn't make my year-end list that everyone else has on their year-end lists. Yes, in fact, this is almost on my disappointments of the year, which we're getting to those at the end of the video, so stay tuned. But thankfully, I re-listened to this album not that long ago, and that is one of the best choices I have ever made, because this album is wonderful. With Tyrant Serenade, Salvation, Sounds Like the Grave, Lay Wreath Upon the World, Savage Days, that's my favorite song on the whole album. It just, in your mind, you start picturing a heavy metal music video as a tribute to a fallen bandmate, and I absolutely love it. And the two bonus tracks on here, This Dark Town and A Life Unknown, those are absolutely wonderful, and they outshine, in my opinion, some of the other tracks on this album, and it makes for a wonderful listen. I absolutely love Nick Holmes' vocals, how he can just go from gothic crooning to absolutely blowing his voice out with his death growls. I love Greg's guitar work. He also produced this album. I love the drums on here, which we had a drummer exodus in 2025, and sadly Guido was among them, but welcome back, Jeff Singer. You have been missed. And I just cannot say enough great things about this album. Yes, I am bummed I missed them on their US tour this year, but there was no Atlanta date. It was just between Milwaukee Metal Fest and Maryland Death Fest. But if they ever come back to Atlanta, I am definitely going to see that show, because it is wonderful to have such an album like this released in 2025. Highly, highly recommend you listen to this, because for some reason it has a 70% on the Metal Archives when it should be like up in the mid-90s, because it's that good. If you're a longtime Paradise Lost fan, I highly recommend this. If you're a fan of My Dying Bride, Anathema, all the Peaceful Death Doom bands, give this album a spin. It is amazing. And finally, Royal Sorrow, Inner Deeps. Oh my word. This band is giving Amorphis a run for their money, and I mean that in the literal sense. This album is on par with early Amorphis albums, even the new one. Yes, I still like it. Let Go, Metrograve, Samsara, Release Your Shadow, Evergreen, Looking Glass, Give In, every song on this album. And this band, I need to warn you ahead of time, this band is a four-piece. A four-piece. A vocalist and a guitarist, another guitarist, a bassist, and a drummer, and they pull it off so well. Like, I cannot stress how great this album is. Like, Marcus in particular, his vocals are just so good, and they really amplify how amazing this album is. I can definitely say that the Finnish progressive metal scene is in good hands if this band is going to be taking over for one of the old guard, because they knocked it out of the park with this album. Do not sleep on this band. Listen to this album. It is amazing. So, we've gone through all the great albums. Now we come to the bad albums. I say bad, this is mainly disappointing. There is one on here that I think is just plain bad. Other than that, these albums kind of let me down. And we're going to start off with something that really hurts me, because I really wanted to like this album. The Helicopters, Overdriver. I really like Nick Anderson. I think he's a really cool musician. Of course, he's known for Entombed and this band especially, but yeah, this just didn't do it. And this will be the case with a couple of other of these, I just got bored listening to this album. Like, the opening track, Token Apologies, is really good. The last two tracks, The Stench and Leave a Mark, not really. And I really think that Nick can do a lot better than this. And sadly, I think this is not his finest work. And the band behind him is really good, but this album just didn't hit for me. And I hate to say that, because Sweden is one of my favorite countries in metal, but this was not a great listen. And I think many of you will probably understand that Eyes of Oblivion was a lot better than this. Next up, and I'm going to get a lot of heat for this, Killswitch Engage, This Consequence. Like the Helicopters, I just kind of got bored with this album. And it is mostly with the way the songs are put together. Individual performances, great. Jesse Leach, amazing vocals. Justin Foley, there are blast beats on this album. Adam D and Joel, they just do amazing guitar work. Mike kills it on bass, but the way the songs are put together is not that great. And it just kind of made the album a bit bland to me. And bland is going to carry over into the next one, because this is an album I really wanted to like, but at the same time it didn't really work. And this is an Atlanta band, and the band is Tetrarch, The Ugly Side of Me. I was so bummed out, because I wanted to like this album so much, because I am known to root for Atlanta area bands and just Georgia bands in general. Like, I love Mastodon, I love REM, I wanted to like this, but it just didn't come to fruition. And it's not because of Diamond. I think she is an amazing guitarist and a trailblazer for all of heavy metal. I just think the songs are kind of bland, and Josh's vocals really didn't help. He sounds like an emo singer, but this is a new metal album, and it doesn't work at all. And I'm surprised Dave Otero, of all people, helped out with the production on this one. Granted, the production is pretty good, but for an album like this, no, it just doesn't. It doesn't make sense why he would go into this. Granted, you all probably like it. I'm just the weird guy apparently, but yeah, this one didn't really go well for me. It's really kind of bland. It's just, if I'm going to talk about it, I'm just going to say it's kind of there. And yeah, that's how I feel. Okay, so this next album, I am going to make two people very angry. Those people are Kyle and Fernando from the Powerful Power Metal podcast. Because I know for a fact they practically worship this band and their music. And I ask you why. Because this album is not that great. And I think you know where I'm going with this. Judicator, Concord. Yeah, this album blows. It blows exceedingly bad. Like, for starters, this album is way too long. There are 9 songs in this album. It is 50 minutes. 50 minutes. 5-0. And you only have 9 songs? This is more like a progressive metal album, if anything. And they easily could have added like 2 or 3 more songs and made this album a lot better. Heck, the new Mongarm album, that's 50 minutes long, and it has 12 songs, and it's miles and miles better than this. Like, I think the only good track, and I say good in quotations if I can even defend this album, is the opening track, Call Us Out of Slumber. But, yeah, and another problem I have is the lyrics on this album, especially in some of the later songs, are corny as heck. Like, I know you all hate power metal because of how cheesy it is. This is just molded cheese that somehow became a vegetable. And yeah, I know John Yelland is kind of a controversial figure in the power metal world, but it's not him I have issues with on this album. It's the way it's all put together. It's not that good. And if I'm being honest, this is kind of putting me out from listening to Judicator. So, Kyle, Fernando, don't you dare come after me, or else I will start attacking you for not liking Sabaton, Nord, and Ogan. But yeah, Judicator, Concord, not great. But, in Judicator's defense, they have nothing compared to the next album. Mindustry, Bloodline. I was betrayed with this album. So, for those of you who don't know, on the Metal Archives, Mindustry is identified as an industrial symphonic thrash band. And all 3 of those things I like. Where are they on this album? In fact, if I can even be nice, there are symphonic elements, but they are very bland, boring, and generic. And what makes this worse, they promised industrial metal, and I love industrial metal. There was only 1 song that had industrial metal on this, and it was for the first 15 seconds, basically, in the 4th track. And this album is 5 songs long. 5 songs, and they barely show any of the styles that they are portrayed for. It's just generic, bland, lifeless heavy metal. It does not work at all. And I am highly disappointed. I went into this with enormous expectations, and they sank through the Mariana Trench as quickly as they arrived. Now, believe it or not, there was a redemption this year from the disappointing list. Dream Theater Parasomnia. Yes, this album was originally on my disappointing list, but I gave it a re-listen. I am so glad I did. This album is wonderful. First of all, welcome back, Mike Portnoy. You have been sorely missed, and I'm not saying anything bad against Mike Mangini. I think he is a wonderful drummer. But yeah, with Mike back and bringing the songwriting up an entirely new notch, they make it so wonderful. And like Night Terror, A Broken Man, Are We Dreaming, Bend the Clock, the last track, The Shadow Man Incident, which you can't have a prog metal album without a song that goes over 20 minutes. This album is just so good. Like, everyone shines. John Petrucci, amazing guitar work. John Young, great bass. Jordan Rudess, the keyboard wizard. Yeah, Say What You Will by James LaBrie. I think he does pretty good on this album. And, of course, Mike is back where he truly belongs, on his throne, the drum kit. And this album is amazing. If you're a longtime Dream Theater fan, definitely give this a spin. And if you're a longtime progressive metal fan, give this a spin. I am so glad I gave this album another chance, because it was a wonderful re-listen. Now, there were a few other albums that were bordering on joining the honorable mentions list, but due to time constraints, I couldn't include them. Those being Rivers of Nile, their self-titled, The Haunted, Songs of Last Resort, Another Redemption with The Harmony Machine by Terror Maze, The Man-Eating Tree with Night Verses, Reinforcer with Ice and Death, and Burning Sun Retribution. And that draws the honorable mentions list to a close. Thank you all very much for watching, and I would like to make this message very important. Save the date, December 31st, 2025, 6 p.m. EST, when I will be releasing my top 20 best albums of 2025. I cannot wait to see you guys there. So, until then, if you liked what you saw, give this video a thumbs up, and if you are new to the channel, subscribe, because I do stuff like this mostly all the time. And until then, my name is Cal, and I will catch you trackside. Have a great night, everybody.